Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Flawed and Content, where we are talking about the mother wound over here. Listen, if you had a great motherhood, a great childhood with your mother, and your mother was loving, your mother was caring, your mother was supportive, I, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that your experience, but there are a lot of women out there who have trauma on their heart, who have resentment on their heart because they didn't get along with their mother or their mother didn't get along with them, right? There's so many reasons that I would like to explore about, why we have a mother wound in this day and age. And I really feel like we have a mother wound because there was so much going on in the family dynamic unbeknownst to us. I personally believe that our mothers were disliked 100%, by our father's mother, one, and our mothers were disliked by our fathers, two. And also, our mothers could have been disliked by their own family, three. You understand? So there was so many dynamics that was going on in the past that we just got the brunt of it. We were inflicted with this wound, this mother wound, this trauma, because of the simple fact that there was so much going on that our mothers did not know how to direct their emotions, right? I don't know about you, but there's times where I realize that instead of getting mad about something, I could just express myself. Or instead of getting mad about something and harboring feelings, I decide to, lash out on somebody. And that's what a lot of our mothers did to us. They lashed out on us because they didn't know that they can go and talk to our daddies. Or if our daddies was abusive, they didn't know that they could leave our daddies. The man was in control of money back then, that kind of like put our mothers in boxes. So that way, when they tried to move left, they couldn't move left. When they tried to move right, they couldn't move right. A lot of our mothers wanted to get out of the situations and stuff like that. So my name is Danielle. I'm 38 years old, and I have a mother wound because I feel like my mom was jealous of me, right? And a lot of us talk about our mothers being jealous of us, not knowing that our daddies was probably making them jealous because our daddies loved us more. If you're a daddy's girl, then that's something that actually had happened. There was a lot of jealousy when you were growing up, and I'm going to try to make this video only 10 minutes, right? So growing up, I remember me and my mom, we just didn't get along. We did not have a great relationship. And, as I'm going through my healing journey and I'm realizing, like, damn, I don't even remember my mom laughing. I don't remember my mom talking to my dad. I don't really remember them interacting with one another to, show that they loved each other. And I don't even remember seeing love in the household. And even not even in the household, the other women in my family, in my bloodline, I've never seen romance, So those things I know are an indicator that my mom was going through a lot. She didn't have that support because my family grew, my family showed their dysfunction by everybody is for themselves. There was no camaraderie, there was no family, there was no family love or anything like that, right? So back to my story, when I was 17 years old, that's when everything really hit the fan. I'm originally from New York City, so me, my mother, my sister, my father, we all got in a car and we went to Georgia. And in Georgia, we had a house. And this was a year process. My family went from 4 to everybody split up like pellets. Everybody just went their own separate ways. We found out that my mother was in another relationship with another man. And even before that, I knew my parents was on very unstable ground. They were very, I call them the quicksand parents because they didn't have such a great foundation growing up. Like I said, they didn't love one another. So cheating was something that I seen growing up as well. No love, abuse, I seen it as well. And that's just the toxicity that I seen growing up in my household. So we moved to Georgia, and that's when everything hit the fan. I remember my parents calling me one night telling me that this one is doing this and this one is doing that, and they were just unhappy together. They weren't happy with one another, and I guess they stayed for the sake of their children. I did have a sister, and she was at that time that everything was happening, maybe 4 or 5 around that time. And when we split up, my mom took my sister with her, and I went to my grandmother's house, and my father went elsewhere, right? So everybody just split up and stuff. So during that time, I was supposed to come back to live with my mother, not knowing that actually everything was, just said and done without my input. I didn't even know they were getting divorced. I didn't know anything was going on. I didn't know that was the end. I just kept on trekking with life. As I called my mom one day and it was like, okay, I'm ready to come back to Georgia because, I was maybe a sophomore in high school, and I was going to this nice high school where they had lockers and, cheerleaders and homecoming and all those type of cool things and stuff like that. And that was just snatched away from me when I was that age. And I ended up coming back to New York City to live with relatives that just showed, didn't care for me. They were showing me that, the little college that you were going to, you decided to go to, that's not good enough. And what you're doing is not good enough. You criticize for every little thing, that's not good enough. So that's what I grew up in, during my teenage to 20s and stuff like that. Not really having the greatest confidence because everything that I wanted to do, people were telling me that's not good enough, right? So I grew up in New York City. My parents were elsewhere. My sister was elsewhere. We were just I was the only one that was calling everybody because nobody spoke to anybody, right? And all through my 20s, I was in a relationship that I wasn't supposed to be in. I could talk about that in another video, but I just want to lay this foundation down right now of my mother wound, how it has affected me throughout the years. When I was 21, I started college. I ended up in a relationship that I shouldn't have been in. I wasted a lot of time in that relationship, but I learned a lot in that relationship. Where was my mother at that time? So after my mother discarded me, abandoned me for another person, she was incognito. She was in and out and stuff. I really didn't know what was going on with her, but I personally just felt like, that was a stupid move. I even emailed her and was like, what you did was very inconsiderate, stupid, you know what I mean? But she told me that I should feel vindicated. And I'm like, why should I feel vindicated, And I'm assuming that she told me that because of the whole being a daddy's girl type thing. Like, that's not my fault, you know what I mean? I just came into the picture, and that's usually how things go. I just come into the picture and people want to blame me for things, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? But anyways, disclaimer, I'm not trying to put any shade on anything, but I'm just giving you my experience, right? So she would come in and out, and then after a while it was total silence. And then when I was 25, that's when she came back into my life. When I was 25 years old, it was mandatory that I told her that you hurt me, how she made me feel from her choices and stuff like that. Though I was already being prepped and told by God that I needed to forgive her. That's what you're going to be seeing throughout my whole channel, is to hear stuff about forgiveness, scriptures about forgiveness, tactics on how to forgive, what it means to forgive, removing resentment from your heart, from whoever caused you trauma in your life. I want you to understand that those people, even if they knew what they were doing, even if you think they knew what they were doing, they did not know what they were doing. You know what I mean? Because they're thinking that they're getting away from you, not knowing that there's, their payback is coming pretty sooner than later, and it's going to be more harsh. You know what I mean? That's why it's just important for you to forgive and not even try to get your lick back or anything like that. Me and my mom, we had a very rocky relationship. When she came back into my life after 25, I continued to talk, and continue to, just try to build a bond with her. But you can still feel that roadblock. You can still feel that there was some kind of like pain there, some kind of, disconnect there, that certain things weren't being said, you know what I mean? So when she came back in my life at 25 and I told her that she hurt me, the only thing that she told me was that I couldn't help you. And I'm just like, I took that answer, but as I got older, it was just like, what can you help me from, right? What could you help me do? Or what could you help me? What you mean you can't help me? You know what I mean? And I think what we don't understand is that we look at our mothers as a savior, not knowing that they're mere human, just as you. You know what I mean? Some mothers did not get equipped And I'm going to get more into that in another video, or maybe I might have that in some of my videos up there. I may not have executed it well because this is new to me, but our mothers were not equipped. Our mothers could have been the one that was supposed to break the generational curses, but did not break the generational curses because, one, they lacked the confidence, too, and two, they didn't see it important to do. You understand what I'm saying? Because some of them already had children, some of them already had husbands. So therefore, why do I need to break the generational curse if I'm already in the situation? You know what I'm saying? A lot of us who are breaking the generational curses are single and childless at the same time. So we have to break that burden before we continue the cycle. We cannot continue the cycle. That's what we have to break, the curse, right? So I kind of got off track here, but she came back into my life and she said, I told her that she pained me, and she hurt my feelings, and she basically told me that she couldn't have helped me, and I just took it for face value at that moment, and I continued being her daughter. I continued being her friend. I continued being around her and stuff like that. But you could still feel that resistance. As time went on, I'm going to skip a couple years. We continued talking. I continued visiting until 2022. COVID happened, and she left a note. She left a letter from my father in my room. Actually, she visited me, and she left a letter in my room from my father asking for his forgiveness. And I'm just like, man, what did you do? What did you do? You know what I'm saying? Some people's hearts is heavy at this moment. So if you were abandoned by your mother, or you were traumatized by whoever, expect conversation to be coming in pretty shortly so that you can get clarity. I wanted clarity, but I had to come up with my own assumptions about what I seen and how I understand it now, due to the fact that I've been through multiple relationships. I've been with men. I've been promiscuous because of this mother wound. Really is a shot to your confidence, to your confidence level. It's a people pleaser. You want to please everybody. You want to do everything for everybody. You want to be liked, but you don't even like yourself. This is what the mother wound does to you. You don't even like yourself, and I didn't know I had a mother wound until just recently, until I really started talking to God about children. He revealed to me that you have a mother wound, and this is something that you have to deal with before I can bless you, before I can before I can bless you. You understand? This is something that I need you to work on, and this is something that I need you to help people with as well. This is why I'm up here on my little vacation talking about this thing, because I want to help people. Like, I come to the realization that I want to get paid to help people in this light. I am a nurse. I'm a licensed practical nurse, and God has been pulling me away from that as well, and having me kind of hone into just giving my little speech, giving my testimony about having a mother wound and moving on from it. And some people are really swallowed up by this mother wound thing and seeking answers and seeking closure from people who don't really care about your feelings. One thing that I realized about the mother wound is that you have to take care of your feelings before you can take care of anybody else. That's where the people pleasing stops. You need to take care of your own emotions before you take care of anybody else's emotions. So that if that means you pulling away for 2 hours from your children, or pulling 2 hours away from your husband, or taking time in the morning to take care of yourself, then you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. And that's something that I've learned as a nurse. I don't go and take care of people first thing in the morning. I go and take care of myself. So this mother wound journey that I have been on, I have been forgiving my mother since the beginning of it actually happening. When she left me, discarded me, and went about her business and left me with my grandmother. If I didn't say that at the beginning, yeah, she left me with my grandmother and relatives that I couldn't even depend on for anything. I asked a relative for help, and he wouldn't even pick up the phone. So it's like, what type of dynamic was I really living in? And that's okay, because to this day, like, as you can see, I've been eating. You know what I mean? So once you realize that you have been covered your whole life, despite the circumstances that you have been given, there's nothing really to be harboring emotions for. You know, like if you've been eating your whole life, if you've been taken care of your whole life, if you've been able to swing from one monkey branch to the next monkey branch, then you've been okay. You know, my mother and I, we are currently in no contact due to my decision, because I realized that I needed to take care of my emotions. And I also realized that I would, if I had children, I wouldn't want her around. You know, no disclaimer, no, you know, no shade to her or anything like that. But you know, when somebody has already showed you their true colors, there's nothing more that you really need to know about that person besides their true colors. You know, and that's something that I really hold dear to my heart, is the fact that my mom is not mother material. You know, she wasn't mother material, and I guess she wanted some more time to develop, so that's why she decided to go and do what she wanted to do. And that's how I look at it right now. Like, nothing she can tell me right now can turn me away from that decision. You know, I have already come to the conclusion that she didn't have the capacity to be a mother. So therefore, now whatever she may tell me is like, oh, I was going through this and I was going through that. She had her chance to tell me all of those things. So therefore, you know, I guess she didn't cherish our relationship, you know, and I did. I wanted things to work out for us, and she didn't feel that way. So therefore, I have to move on, because I don't want this thing to wallow me up. I don't want this thing to stress me out any longer than it has already done. You know what I mean? I went through life and I did what I had to do. I learned my period because I have PCOS, and you know, I figured out that I have a mother wound, and I figured out that I needed to forgive her, and I figured out why I am a daddy's girl, and I figured out, you know, how to become a nurse, and I figured out how to do things. Next thing now is figure out how to become a business owner, because that's the way I see my life. You know what I mean? And one thing that I've noticed about this mother wound, which is the most greatest thing, is that unlearning what you learn so that you can create the life that you want is one of the greatest privileges that this mother wound has possibly granted you with. You know, it's time for you to look at the mother wound from a different perspective now. Like, it's a wound. Wounds heal. Therefore, it took some time for you to heal. Like, yeah, I wasn't initially, oh, forgive her, love her, I care about her, you know, no shade, no hate, no nothing, this, that, and the third. It was like, damn, you left me. How could you do that? This, that, and the third. But then when I started reflecting on her life and started reflecting on who she is and how she is and this, that, and the third, I realized she went through a lot. You know, I even told her she was strong. Whatever I'm saying to you is not something that I didn't say to her, because I'm not that type of person. When I say something to somebody, I say it to their face, and then I could say it like this because I've already said what I had to say to that person, you know. So me and the mother wound, we are done and over with, but I do want to help people out there, you know, body dysmorphia, you know, feeling guilty because of the shame that you've been through. I know growing up, I barely talk about my mother to my friends. Well, I didn't even have no friends because I didn't learn social skills, you know, from my parents, because I'm telling you, our parents did not know anything. Like, if you grew up with no guidance, you had to learn for yourself. You know what I mean? And this healing journey right now is for you to unlearn what you learned, because you had to be in survival mode your whole life. Now you can walk down the street and smile because everything is okay. Everything is all right. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm just going to leave it here because I have 1 more minute to 20 minutes and I don't want to talk too much. But yeah, I've had a mother wound for the past numerous years, and I didn't realize I had a mother wound until 2023, the end of 2023. If you go down to my shorts, you realize, like, oh my God, one of my videos is like, I'm so excited that I realized that I have a mother wound and this is my niche, right? And yeah, so I want to help people. I guess I need to start doing some research, right? I need to start doing some research. But yeah, a lot of us have had mother wounds, and it's time for us to heal those things, because with you healing your mother wound, you are healing your mother womb. You're healing your womb. That's why a lot of us have fibroids and cysts. I have PCOS, and you know, all of those things. I could talk more about my PCOS another day, but you're healing your womb when you heal your mother wound. Okay, so take that into consideration as you continue this journey with me. I may look at things from the positive side too much, and it may be sickening to some people, but that's the best way to be. You know, I don't take negativity, I don't do disrespect. You know, I just want to do this from a love perspective, because that's the currency that I'm currently on. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you watched it to the end, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name is Danielle, where we are talking about the mother wound on Flawed and Content, because the mother wound will have you feeling some type of way about yourself, but you get to a point where you're content because this is the way you are. What you can't fix, you accept, and what you can fix, you change. So have a great day. Bye.